Hi, it's Cindy. I'm back. I have a bit of a haul. Actually, it is a haul. It's not just a bit of a haul. It is a haul. And it is from the Pretty Pink Cottage on Etsy, which is owned and operated by Diane H. here on YouTube. She is a very accomplished, talented junk journaler. She makes beautiful junk journals and smash books and books of all kinds. She's working on a series of what she calls domestic arts books right now, and they've got to do with cooking and knitting and sewing and all sorts of things that we do in the home. So I urge you to check her out. She's got really great items in her shop, and I had to partake of a few the other day when she listed some things. So first of all, she has these teeny tiny, very cute, very sweet, and I closed the bag. There they go. They're about 2 inches square, if you can see them. And I mean, that's the flap right there. And they're kind of a I don't know how even to describe them, but they're very slick, but not shiny. They're almost like they're waxed, but they don't feel waxy. Of course, if they were heat wax, I don't know. I'll just keep talking and maybe figure it out. Maybe it's a kind of glassine, but I've never seen brown glassine before. Of course, I don't know. Anything can happen, I guess. I don't know. So there's that. And then there's this eyelet that I purchased. And it is, what is it, 5 inches wide? Maybe even 6. And it's this pretty, pretty blue turquoise color and a peach to coral, I guess. And it's just so pretty. I've never seen anything quite like it. And when she held it up, I just knew I had to have a piece of it. So I got a yard of that. She goes to flea markets not far from her home. She lives about an hour and 15 minutes or so north of me. And so I get really jealous because she gets all this good stuff at these flea markets. She's got such a great eye for this stuff. She buys stuff I would never think to buy. And then I think, oh, I need that. But anyway, I urge you to check her out. She has really great hauls, and she's, like I said, she does these beautiful books, and she's doing process videos and all that kind of stuff. So she bought a bunch of trims a couple of weeks ago, and then she cut them up into 1 yard lengths and sold them in bundles of either just the individual trim or sometimes sort of light trims that she put together. And these were the offcuts, so they're all different lengths, and they don't have any sort of rhyme or reason to go together for the most part. But I liked them, and she had a real good price on them, so I snapped them up. This is a sort of a satin down the center, a satin stitch down the center, and then there's a matte cording down on either side, and so that's real pretty. And then this one is the same sort of thing in ecru with gold on either side, and it's sort of scallopy there too. I didn't notice that. So yeah, that's real pretty. And this, for those of us old enough to remember, like you had to be a teenager in the 70s, we got this mad urge in the 70s to have our jeans long enough that we could walk on the hems. And we'd walk on them until they wore out, and then we'd put braid on the bottom and start all over again. Sometimes we put braid on the bottom of our shorter jeans from the 60s, and to make them long enough to be cool for the 70s. Yeah, so that's what this is. And it's really cool and fun and sort of a retro kind of dash down memory lane for me. This card has some flat eyelet, which is quite pretty, and I can see various ways to use that. This is kind of a gimpy frog type thing. Yeah, and that'll be fun. This is kind of unique. It's got this black down here and on this taupey flat. I don't know. Maybe it's meant to be but it's not round. I don't know. I don't know what it's meant to be used for, but it's going to find its way into junk journals for me. And this stuff is really interesting. It is, it's got a bit of stretch to it. It's almost like an elastic, except it doesn't really stretch out too much. But it's got this weird, cool, black and white, black and gray, whatever you want to call it, almost like a camo at the top, and then this blue. It's just very interesting, and it'll be fun to put in journals, because I can't imagine using on any clothing. So that's really cool. So I really like all the things I got from her, and because she's so sweet, she always sends her thank you in these little pink cards with the little Pink Cottage, and she included a few of these sales tags, clothing tags, as a thank you. So I really appreciate that. They'll be fun to play with in my journals, and I urge you to check her out. And as far as my channel is concerned, thanks for visiting. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends.